We live. What did we say last time?
I'm back in the saddle again. Take two.
Oh yeah.
We lost a camera. Now we have a camera. And let's just hope that everything works.
Let's just hope it all works out.
Hopefully.
God knows it took us exactly 1 hour and 45 minutes to set all this up, and we're only going to record for about
That's what you
45
got to
of
do
it.
for
Dude, I'm
good
actually
show
really
business.
surprised.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that it only took us that long with like not knowing how we were going to do it.
It's
Yeah.
showbiz, baby.
Showbiz.
So again, thanks for tuning in. I'm Ryan, obviously your host of the ATX Metal Podcast, and today we have Familiar with Failure all the way from Grange, Texas, that decided to come up here and record in the new space at the Fieldhouse in Cedar Park. And thanks to the managers and the powers that be, this is my old stomping grounds where I used to work. I'm not in the Fieldhouse, but associated with the Fieldhouse. So I'm very, very gracious in them letting us have this set up. So we'll just get straight to it before it gets really loud in the background and all of the churchgoers come out and start to have a good time.
This
and
place
the
is sick,
parents.
by the way.
Yeah, dude, this place is amazing, but gotta watch out for the mommies with the memes, if you know what I'm saying.
No.
So go around the room, introduce yourself and what you do in the band, and then we'll just kind of go kick it off.
Start with Josh.
Oh, I'm Josh.
Josh.
I do
Welcome.
I do the vocals, the harsh vocals for Familiar with Failure,
Okay.
and I'm awkward. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Okay, Caleb, and I play drums.
I'm Kyle. I write riffs.
He's the riff daddy.
The riff
of the
daddy.
band.
And I'm Colby. I play bass and do backup vocals, all kinds of vocals.
You kind of like, and just so everybody is clear, we're obviously doing this on video, and we have the lovely Ashley, is it? Did I get that name right?
No, that's
You
my
got his
Not
wife.
even
Ashley.
close, you know?
Yeah.
Summer?
Summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Summer.
sorry. Some target demographic white girl name. That wasn't like a swipe at you.
No, yeah, you're good.
Okay. Meet Ryan, one of the most. Anyway, but
that's awesome.
I'm super happy to have you guys up here. I'm really happy that I have a space to provide, and you guys have these amazing fucking cameras. Like, holy shit.
Dude, we're just happy to be here.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
And like we were saying earlier, like I consider you guys, some of the OG bands, because where I got started at Dirty Dog, that's where I really got to lay the groundwork of the podcast. And now I'm in my 8th year, 9th year, somewhere in that ballpark of doing this. And I'm finally happy to get back to in-persons, because it's just a different vibe, like
yeah.
actually being able to physically look at somebody and, just everything that goes with a live interview. I kind of have, like, I was on the way down here. I went for a run today, jammed your guys' discography. Absolutely amazing. It's just kind of like, why do I not listen to these guys more?
Thank you.
Come on, get these Spotify numbers up, Ryan. And it's great. So I guess we'll just kind of start like band history, started from the bottom, now we're here kind of shit.
Started from the
Yeah.
So
bottom,
anybody can take it. Anybody
Gotcha.
can take it.
The OG group.
Yeah. So
The high school group.
So this all started in high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, we started a project before this band. It was called Distemper.
The
Okay.
thing your dog gets. Yeah.
Yeah, the disease that dogs get. Yeah, we were still in high school, obviously, and yeah, we wrote some Metallica like tight thrash songs, and yeah, we played one show at
in
his house.
my parents' living room.
You played a show. You played a house party for your first show.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Oh.
you'd call it a party. We were there and
We had
we played a show.
We were there.
we had
Yeah.
pizza. There was pizza involved.
There was pizza involved.
It was a pizza party with the band playing.
So when were your parents? I mean, obviously they're supportive of
Yeah.
you guys chasing
Yeah.
music
Oh, for
passions.
sure.
I mean, did anything get broken? Was there any like hindsight? Like,
Actually, no.
No
Your
elbows
amp a
were
couple
thrown.
times just from like negligence. But
Y'all hung my guitar in a fucking
Yeah.
barrel, and it really
Yeah.
pissed me off.
hung it in a
Oh,
that's a
barrel.
long story.
Hung it on a
Okay.
barrel.
We'll save
And
that for
so-
another interview.
Cut that.
So we kind of fizzled that out, and then I met this young lad over here.
I'm not young. I'm old.
He's the oldest in the band.
Yeah. There's no
Um,
gray hair yet, but it's coming.
I met him through some mutual friends, and we actually started working at the same restaurant in another
his
small
boss.
town near us. And I was like, "Hey, you've been in bands before," which this man has been in some wacky, like pretty popular metalcore bands back in the day.
Yeah, I started right out of high school. I played in a band called Skyline, and we got pretty popular like in College Station, Houston area. And it was just Christian metal, not even metalcore, Christian screamo. 'cause
Okay. Hey
metalcore
man,
wasn't a thing.
that was some of my gateway bands. I mean,
Yeah, like
my wife-
Under Oath and all that.
yeah, I mean, obviously Under Oath, and then For Today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there was this one band that I always keep close to my heart because I'll just real briefly, a band called Endwell.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I got it on their kick, but I just really liked their sound. And when I was working overseas and would come home, me and my wife would go on like little tours to go see different bands play at different cities. So like we were the touring band essentially,
Oh, that's
but
cool.
we were going to see the shows. And we went to go see Endwell in Virginia, I believe, in this little like Christian room that's in like a strip plaza that's
Yeah.
next to a bar. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And there's kids in there just throwing trash cans and chairs.
Yeah.
And
Did it have a stage about that size?
about that
Yeah,
size, yeah.
yeah.
And my wife got hit by a pit ninja full closed fist. He was
Ooh.
just starting the lawnmower. And I mean, I think this was before the full on, cartwheels and all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was just straight up,
just
picking up
elbow
change.
thrown, yeah.
pick them up, put them down. And she was filming and I was to her left. And all of a sudden I just saw homie just one swing
Oh,
and my
wow.
wife went down like a wet noodle. And then I went after that kid, and the security guard that we've been buying shots for yoked me up and was like, hey man, that dude's 17. You're going to catch a charge. I'm like, maybe
Damn.
this is what the Lord wants. So
Yeah, praise Jesus.
praise
Praise-
Jesus
yeah.
for me not murdering
Thank you,
one of his
Jesus.
children in his
In
name.
the space.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
so that's my Christian metal story.
Yeah. That was my like big influence. And then I was in a band called Inside Falling Skies for a little while. That formed from playing like indie Never Shout Never bullshit.
Okay.
And then we got a drummer, and then I was like, I want to scream again. And then me and my wife got pregnant, and so I kind of quit all that. And then
I like how you said we.
yeah,
That for everybody listening and watching, if you get pregnant, it's not just you. It's a
exactly.
2 to tango. Okay?
Yeah, 2 to tango. I lasted about 7 seconds. She had 9 months. I love you.
Perfect.
If you listen to this, babe, and I'm sorry.
Man, that's gonna be the name of this.
7 seconds.
I lasted
9
7
months.
seconds.
That's
with
clickbait,
familiar with
bro.
failure.
Clickbait. Yeah, clickbait. But yeah, and Colby hit me up and he was like, "You used to do that. You should do it again." And then my daughter actually was like, "You should do music again, Dad."
Oh,
Like,
that's cool.
yeah. So I was like, it was like meant to be kind of thing, and
Nice.
yeah, now we're here.
And our original idea was to just be like a at-home recording band. And then I got these dudes involved again.
And they were like, "I want to play shows," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, I'm old, but
the
fine."
itch to play shows was just too strong.
I've got 2 or 3 instances where I remember being at a show or at some kind of event where I was like, I need to be on the stage. I need to be on the part that side of it. And I think one of them we were all there. I don't know if Josh, you were there,
No,
but in high school around 2016 ish, we went to Beartooth. We saw Beartooth headline with Silent Planet and then Ghost Key, which is we'll get
Man.
into that eventually.
yeah.
And man, the floor was rocking. The stage, it was packed.
I
There's
got
people
kicked in the
flying everywhere.
face
And
As one should.
Yeah.
that was
by the guitarist with his
Even
guitar.
better.
that was
Yeah.
the show where we all sat down outside of the House of Blues in Houston. I was like, I want to do that, man. Like
Oh, so
that's
that was
cool.
like the moment.
That was the moment for me.
Wow,
yeah.
I've never
That's
got
cool.
I've never gotten
For us
that
at
on
least,
this
yeah.
on this before. I never got like
Yeah.
the moment it
Yeah.
like clicked in your head.
Yeah.
Like, I want to.
There's been a few times that was the first one. The
Yeah.
other one was seeing Vanna.
I think that was the one
yeah.
that we shared a group experience as.
And all 4 of you were there.
No,
Us
not
three,
me.
Just you
Josh,
three?
but
Okay.
us 3.
Yeah.
I'm the odd one out.
It's okay. I'm here.
Well, I knew
I'm here with
Josh
you, buddy.
at the
Yeah.
I'm
moment.
here with you.
I knew Josh at this moment, but he just
Well, what was your moment? What was your moment?
My
where I want to
moment?
do it.
My friends were the ones that started Skyline, and then the vocalist didn't show up, and I was like, I want to try, and then it happened.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's easy as that.
Yeah.
It's also a lot more common in the
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your
Back
era.
in, dude, the scene is so different. Like back in 2009, 2010, like that scene is a whole. I wish the scene was like it was back then.
It was strong.
Yes.
Not saying it's not strong now, but
Yeah.
growing.
I think what's happening now is so kind of about the time frame that I got to be familiar with y'all and the other locals that were constantly coming and hitting Dirty Dog and all the other
Mhm.
like side venues up in like Red River.
Oh yeah.
What was the other one? Lucky Lounge. I
Mhm.
think that was off of like 4th or 3rd Street. There was just so many like pocket venues. And
Yeah.
I think that's what really made Austin cool. And Austin's still cool. It just has a different vibe. But like you were saying, that the older scene just seemed to be more, I don't know, energetic.
Yeah.
More hungry.
Yeah.
Because today, now you just do some shit in your bedroom and launch it up on
Right,
Spotify or
yeah.
TikTok, and you've got a fucking deal sitting in your inbox.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean, what are some of the biggest struggles? I mean, for being I guess when did the band as a whole, as it sits right now, when was that like official? When did that?
We had a date. I don't remember. It was September something.
It was 2017. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so September 2017.
Yeah.
And then this happened what year?
Between us three,
2014?
I mean, yeah, high school. So
2015?
we were
Okay.
we graduated 17. You graduated 16.
Yeah.
So somewhere in there.
So almost a decade running as a
Almost,
project.
yeah.
Yeah.
But as
Don't
a
say
whole
that.
unit.
Damn.
And,
Yeah, don't
we
say
didn't-
that.
We didn't,
Hey man, if I'm dating myself, I gotta date y'all. Okay.
we
Yeah,
didn't
dude.
start taking it seriously though until like 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after
Yeah.
pretty much
2 weeks ago, guys. What are you talking about? We're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because like, well, we were getting a little bit of traction before the pandemic,
Yeah.
and then that obviously,
I think that's one reason that we've been
Everybody
able to stick around for as long as we have, is that we want to put out serious music and
yeah,
everything, because a mission statement is to be somebody that you can reach out to and talk to and stuff like
Yeah.
that, because that's the bands that hit us, so we want to give that to people. We also like to have fun.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that we do isn't super serious at all.
Yeah, we don't
at
take
all
ourselves
moments.
seriously at all.
So I think that's part of the reason. If we were, strict about everything, we probably wouldn't have stuck around for as long as we have.
Yeah, we
So
would
you-
have burnt out. I
So you
think.
think just because of the kind of, it's not serious, it's more fun, hobbyish kind of thing, is the reason why it's kind of stayed together for as long as it has?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
like
so.
don't get me
And-
wrong. We want to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
successful,
We
but
want to-
it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
why not have fun doing it? Why does
Yeah.
it have to be this like time schedule? Like if you can't make a practice, okay.
And
Like like it's
I
not, it doesn't
think-
have to be like super strict.
I think an important thing to note is that like a lot of bands that you see that are successful around here are people who are also in like other bands, and
Right.
they have more than one project. They're musicians. They're trying to make a living out of it.
Yeah,
So they take it super seriously. We were friends before we started a band, and we've remained that way since.
I've known this dude since like 2nd, 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, so you guys grew up together?
Yeah, we've played on little league teams together, baseball and all
No
that.
shit.
Yeah.
I met you when I was like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
Like I knew who he was just because he was in a grade below me
Right.
the whole time.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. Do you want me to drop your nickname?
Nugget. Man's is Nugget.
Everyone knew him as Nugget.
I mean, I gotta ask why.
Look at him. No, there was no real reason. I remember joining athletics, and I had a coach come up to me, and he's like, "We need to get you a nickname." I told them this story, but he looks at me, he goes, "We're gonna call you Moose."
Moose.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I played basketball that year, and we had a coach, Coach Barrier. I barely remember him. The only thing that stands out is that moment. But we were playing. Nuggets were doing really well at the time defensively. I was big on defense. Yeah, Nuggets. Speaking of which, and
so
yeah, so
hungry.
Nuggets.
So
Yeah.
Nugget came from a coach during basketball season.
Yep. He
And
just called it Nuggets.
you love the Nuggets, or at the time?
No, I didn't know.
No,
I had
so-
no-
okay.
It was just
It
a
the
name. Yeah, no.
coach. Yeah, the
Yeah.
coach was
As
the
far
one
as
that,
sports
like,
go, it's Houston all the way for me.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Everything in that town.
Sorry for your football team.
Oh,
Hey man, I was
talk
an
about
Arian
it.
Foster fan through and through. So I mean, he was the truth, and then
Yeah.
he got hurt, and then he got hurt again, and
Yeah.
so goes life. But anyway, back to music.
yeah,
So again, I'm super happy that this is happening because again, we've known each other for
Yeah.
a very long time. and
every
I-
time I see you at a show, we sit and talk for like an hour.
yeah, and that's the one thing that I love about these is that 9 years in, I'm still talking to people that I've known for 5+ years. And
Yeah.
there's so much history there, so it's like really hard to condense into an episode. So it's just getting together and just kind of actually having to sit down and
Mhm.
you know that whole like vibe check thing. Like I'm happy that this is finally fucking happening. Like
yeah,
even on my run today, like I was listening to some guided run and it was called the Fork Yeah Run. So it's like 4K fuck yeah. Like,
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to like, play on words. But it was really cool because the episode or the guided run was about like setting goals. even though if you don't hit all the goals, at least you set them. What did you do to get there? So I guess the kind of tie-in here is like, this is one of my goals, was to have a nice space to, sit down and have a chat with you guys.
For sure.
What are some of the band's future goals? I mean, you could either go like individually or, band wise, but obviously for the music.
Yeah. So we are working on our EPK to start sending off to labels and stuff. We've written like all new music for it and everything else. Then we have our single that's coming out soon. That's not going to be a part of the EPK. It's not the same.
We'll just say August.
It'll be standalone.
Yeah, standalone
Yeah,
single.
standalone.
It's kind of like the last of our old material
Yeah.
before we like dive into this new project.
Yeah,
Okay.
because with our EP that we're releasing with the EPK, we really wanted to hone in on what our sound was.
Right.
And so that's what we've been working on. And that's what those songs are. I guess you would, I don't know how you would describe our sound, like kind of like downswing.
Okay. I love
Yeah.
downswing.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what we've been doing a lot recently, is just figuring out what that is.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
it's
more
gonna
like
be
finding you.
Yeah,
that's
'cause
gonna be
like-
ever changing.
Yeah, because we write stuff to have fun, and so that kind of reflected. Like we would have one song that sounded like Kublai Khan, and then another song that was more, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, the single
yeah.
that's coming out, there's a couple
Yeah.
specific moments where I was like, this sounds like Dying Wish. I want to make it sound like
Ooh,
Dying Wish. Stuff like
Nice.
that.
Yeah, I definitely.
Or like
what-
you could probably say the main riff of the new song is very Pantera.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Very Pantera
Let's
riff.
see if I can. While I was running, I was taking screenshots of songs I was listening to, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah, here we go. Loneliness isn't forever my
friend.
friend.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, cut off.
Yeah.
It's
It is
a
long
Yeah,
title.
you can see it.
Whenever,
Oh, yeah, dude.
whenever we
We're
put it
trying
on
to bring the long ass
Yeah,
titles
dude,
back.
that's the fucking 29 scene, man. That's the era I'm from.
Lift,
Okay.
Lift for short, LIFF.
Yeah, Lift.
Okay,
Yeah.
Or loneliness.
So-
we just
so-
call it.
Can anybody explain this song? I mean, I honestly can't remember like what it was about or how it sounded, but I definitely.
Musically, I believe it was mainly me and Kyle.
Yeah.
This happens a lot with our songs. It's after we get done practicing, I'm just jamming around, and he always catches my riffs. He's like, "Bro, we got to make a fucking song out of that." It's the intro riff. I'm just hanging on 12 on the low C string. The song's in drop
Okay.
C. Hanging on 12 and going up to, I think, 2 or 3. And he's like, "Yo, that's sick." I'm like, "Dude, I'm just fucking around."
That's how we write
He's
music.
like,
Yeah.
No, do it again.
Yeah, pretty much. That's whenever he shows up to practice. But
If we could sum down a formula into how we write songs, it's usually Kyle will come up with a riff, and then we will either Josh or me or Caleb will cohesively just piece it together from there.
Yeah.
because I can't really write anything that's actually in time, apparently, according to these motherfuckers.
He's
Dude, his timing is all over the
meter-
place, dude. It's great.
motorically challenged, if that makes sense. Like he doesn't understand meter.
Okay,
Like
okay.
4/4 doesn't exist in Kyle's world.
1, 2, 3,
Exactly.
4, 1. He's like,
He'll be like,
Yeah, stop. he gets upset.
he's like 4/4 triggers me, dog. Don't do it.
Colby said my brain is wired in 5/8 or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Or like 7/16.
Jeez.
Yeah, which is very old school.
But I mean, yeah, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't hear. I mean, and that's the one thing that I really like about music today is, a lot of shit happened during COVID to where obviously musicians like you guys could not practice. I mean, you could still practice and play, but you couldn't like get on stage and flesh shit out
Yeah.
unless you had like some stage like this in someone's backyard that didn't give a shit.
Yeah, which house shows are awesome.
Dude, bring house shows
Dude.
back. What
I want to go on a
what
house
camera
show.
am I
We
gonna
haven't
make it?
played an official house show yet, have we?
Bring it back.
Bring them back. Bring
Dude.
back the house show.
Bands that are listening, if you want to do a house show tour, hit us up.
Dude,
We're down.
Oh God, an underground. What if it was like a speakeasy house? You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
only way that
That'd be
you knew
cool.
about it was by word of mouth.
That would
I
be
feel
sick.
like that's how it used to be, though.
Yeah,
right?
they used to. Yeah,
So like Josh is from Brenham.
Yeah.
If do you know where Brenham is?
Bluebell ice
on
cream.
290.
that way. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like Brenham used to have a decent like scene.
yeah.
I
Because of
guess,
me,
so
I
you
would
call
literally
it.
throw shows.
It was just
at
because of
the
you.
Washington County Fairgrounds.
Like the have you heard of like the small town breakdown
Yeah.
or small town throwdown?
I've heard. Yeah, that sounds very familiar. That's you?
Yeah,
No shit.
yeah, yeah. I would get like 15 bands from all over to come and
It's
play.
almost like a fest.
Yeah, it was fun.
Damn.
Yeah. Like there's like it's like no one's in charge. Like it's just the bands just come
Yeah.
and everyone has a good time.
Yeah,
Everybody's
and-
just
and
like,
I mean,
you
I
want to
would-
go? You want to go? Sure, I'll
Yeah,
go.
and
Fuck
dude,
it.
I would make
Exactly.
I'd make enough money to pay every band and still pay the venue, get money back, and make money in my pocket and everything. Yeah,
That's good,
Like
man.
that's the type of stuff that we want to like
yeah.
work towards bringing back.
Let's do it.
I would say.
And
What were you gonna say? You were gonna say
Oh,
something?
well, the last show that we played on that, we played a run with our good friends in Flip Cup,
Yeah.
and one of those shows in Tyler, it felt like that, like where it was a
Oh,
speakeasy
yeah,
kind
dude.
Wait,
of
the
vibe.
band is called Flip Cup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They broke
From
up
Midland,
Yeah,
Texas.
that was their breakup tour.
though.
Love
Yeah.
those guys.
Dude,
I
we
love it.
literally played and it was an art gallery in the basement of an art gallery.
Yeah.
It was the
See,
coolest
that's-
fucking thing ever.
That's fucking rad.
Like literally the hallway for us to load in was a hallway of mirrors.
Yeah.
So we were like
Yeah, no.
trying to figure that out while getting equipment in. Like it was
You're just
fantastic.
like, all right, Colby, get super
the
skinny.
Yeah.
front of the shop looked like an old just like vacuum store.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, from like the 50s.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if there was any way that we could set this up, because I was so getting all of this equipment out, kind of
Mhm.
like knocking the dust off. I was throwing in thumb drives just to kind of see what was on it, how much room.
Yeah.
And I was finding stuff from 2017, 2016
What?
of like, there's this band called No Life Kings. I love No Life Kings. They are just rowdy. They don't exist anymore. I think it was just like,
Were they kind of like the Chariot, like just all over
yeah,
the place, crazy?
like man,
yeah.
just
Hell
and
yeah.
like oh my god. So
long
so
live
my
the cherry.
so I
Yeah.
actually ran into one of the members at some expo. He's selling like blinds or some shit now. Trevor. Yeah, shout out Trevor. No Life
Nice.
Kings. Love you, dude. DK, he's in Washington State, I believe.
Oh wow.
Talked to him like very, very sporadically. And then I think the front man, God, I want to say his name's like CJ or something. Damn that. Either way. And then, God, I knew I was gonna forget one name, and he's the guitarist. He's got this sick mustache, but he had all these cool like instruments that were just so off the charts weird. I forget this thing where you like flick it or tap it and it like created a resonance, and he like put it-
That's the OG shoegaze.
dude. Dude, pedals for days.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just. God, I feel like his name. I'll remember it. I'll be sure to put it in the description.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went to one of their house parties. I think I went to a Bury the Rod house show.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, just looking at all of
Ah.
that footage was just like, such nostalgia. And I feel like, now that, for the past year or so, mom jeans have been in. So I feel like that 90s, early 2000 music might just come along with the mom jeans.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
I
you know,
could see that.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But I mean, today's music is just it's so accessible now that you don't have to do the grind like you guys used to. So do you guys feel, I guess, where are you guys at in I guess in today's world of music? Like, do you think that the local scene has had an improvement, or is there still room to like grow?
I think it needs to be a combination of now and back in the day.
Now and
I
then.
remember sitting on MySpace.
God damn.
I can hear my gray hairs growing.
Top five, baby.
But I would literally go on the band's MySpace and individually message people and be like, "Hey, so and so." Like I would go and check the profile and everything to know them in some way, shape, or form,
Right.
and make it seem more personal and be like, "Check out my band." And like now you don't have to do that.
Now check out my band is just
Like
this
hashtag
running
fucking
joke on
metalcore.
Facebook. Like, bro, don't just add me to check your
Yeah.
your band out.
And, but it was great. I discovered I made so many friends doing that.
Oh,
Yeah, because people would actually message back and be like, "Yeah, sure. Oh, it's sick," or "Oh, it sucks." Oh, why? It would always start conversation.
right.
And that's what's lacking with today is there's no conversation starting. It's all just hashtag fucking here's a picture, here's a
Yeah.
video, like it
Right.
with a heart, and go about your day. There's no fucking top 5. Like, dude, you know how many hearts were broken, but then also how many spirits were lifted being on somebody's top 5,
Oh
dude?
yeah,
Right.
I could only imagine going to your friend's profile and seeing like a track just sitting there, just like ready to go. You're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I got something. You say you used to message band members and all about that?
No, just individual people. I
People?
would literally just go through, say they liked Falling in Reverse. I'd be like, okay, these people like Falling in Reverse, and I would literally go person to person
Oh, that's what
and message them and be like, hey, I see
like-
you.
Damn, that's
It's like
dedication.
being
Yeah.
it's like being in the Warped Tour line and seeing a band that on their shirt. Be like, hey, you like this? Check this
That's a
shit
pretty
out.
good
Yeah.
analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
The Warped Tour line.
Dude.
Dude, the amount of time someone with a boombox just trying to sell me a CD in the Warped Tour line.
Bro, I helped what was that rapper's name? MC Lars? I think is that I don't remember. I think that's what his name was. He actually wore our band shirt from the previous band I was in on at Warped Tour because he walked up and was like, "Y'all look like you're in a band. You want to help me like pass out like CDs and stuff while we're in line?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure.
Sure, free labor. Let's go.
Yeah. I was like, "Wear our shirt on stage." He was like, "All right, bet." And he did. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh well, that turned out good.
Yeah.
The other thing about the scene that I think we've all recently talked about is kind of the state of promotion and
Oh, yeah.
how it's been a little bit rough for us.
So glad that you brought
Yeah,
that up.
and it can be worked upon. That's one thing in this, and
Yeah.
Okay,
now
let's-
that can be worked upon.
Let's talk about PR real quick. We got
Oh.
about I would say
You want to do like 2 episodes in one sitting?
yeah. I think we got about 30 minutes left before
Okay.
all the mommies with memes get a little rowdy. Maybe that'll be the name of the episode. Mommies with
7
memes.
seconds and mommies with memes.
So I recently teamed up with a gentleman named Robert Hahn of Overt Enemy out of the Rio Grande Valley.
Oh, nice.
Just think like old school thrash, just that style of music, like just Texas metal,
Mhm.
yeah.
it just has that sound, like Florida metal and Cali, like everybody
Is it
has
more like
their-
Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, like that southern, like kind of stuff. Or?
No, well, I mean, I would say there's probably hints of it,
Yeah.
but it's more in the vein of just your classic like Pantera.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And just expand from there, like Sepultura. Maybe not Sepultura, but I don't know. Robert might punch me for a couple names. Anyway,
It's like how you could tell when hip hop is from Houston.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
okay.
my God, I was playing some like MGK and eight ball and who else? Fucking Juicy and all, like it just went on this playlist and my daughter's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "That's what? Excuse me?" I was like, "Oh yeah, you're 10. This is Houston rap, babe." She's like, "What's Houston
That
rap?"
chop and screw.
Just, that's it, man. And
that's our outside of metal.
that's your shit.
Oh, yeah.
Draped up and dripped out.
That's
know
it.
what I'm talking about.
R.I.P. Screw.
and Big
Dude, I'm
Pokey.
such a dad, dude. God, I need to stop
man.
talking.
Well, we're also from the area that those
Yeah,
like
Smithville
huge
area.
artists are from. They're from like Smithville,
yeah.
LaGrange,
That's where-
so it makes sense.
Winchester.
That's where Screw's buried, is out in Smithville.
Yeah.
No shit. Well, did not know that. Little nugget.
Yeah.
Little nugget.
Little nugget.
Yeah,
dude.
you go.
But
he's got gold nuggets in his brain.
but Robert runs Texas Metal United,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been doing it, I think, now 10 years, maybe more than that. And so we actually started talking about promotion and how it is lacking. It's almost like, yeah, the band has a certain expectation to promote their own show, but at the
Mhm.
same time, the venue does, and then people like myself, I consider myself somewhat of a promoter because,
Yeah.
I mean, this is part of the job,
Right.
I don't get paid to do it. I love to do it, because seeing you guys on stage with more than 10 people, in the crowd, like makes my heart warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20, 25, 50, 100. I mean, obviously the numbers go up, but having people to play to versus just the other bands that are there that you're playing with means a lot to me. So if any way that I can help out, I obviously do. But he started a TikTok page probably a couple weeks ago. And all we're doing now is he's basically doing the South and I'm doing the North. So any flyers that we get from like Come and Take It, Valhalla, Mohawk,
Gotcha.
Anywhere in Central Austin, and then I'm still trying to reach out to like DFW and Houston. But we're just taking the flyer, putting it in a template, loading a song in that is one of the bands that are on the flyer, and then just throwing it up. And it's like 7-10 seconds long. I mean, it
There you go.
probably
something.
takes
Yeah.
probably takes less than 5 minutes to really make it look, the right template. And,
Yeah.
you got to put some stylistic touches
And
on
that's-
there. But
that's for the
using like CapCut
consumer.
or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's also the consumer side, even down to us on the band side, like getting load in times, things like that. Like it helps tremendously.
it's
Yeah.
so
You know?
I can't count how many times people have messaged me for load in times because they know that I'm affiliated with Come and Take It. And I guess I'm like / promoter, talent buyer. So anytime I throw a show, I definitely want to make sure that load in times are shot out. And,
Yeah.
and it seems like
the
that,
last show we just played, it was doors at 6 and there were 5 bands and we were first. We knew we were first. And so we assumed that it would start at 7 because usually
hour.
doors are an
Yeah.
hour right before the first band. So our set was 6:30 and we found out when we got to the venue, and I had people asking me like, what time you go on? Like,
We actually had people show up right after we got done.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
We were all sweaty. They're like, "Did you just play?"
That's
Like,
the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
It's because like just no one sent out the set times before the show, and like
When we first
that's just a simple thing.
when we first started playing live, we were playing a lot in Houston.
Mhm.
We would get like 2 pages long itineraries. All right, this is when you can start. This is when you can meet at the front.
This is
very
when you take
detailed.
a shit. This is when you eat.
It seems like right after COVID's still going on, but
yeah.
where's it at? I know. But now
It's in this mic.
after COVID, we don't. It's not great.
Okay,
It's-
so
it's
I'll just say
very,
this.
like-
So from what would you like to see from the band side coming from either the venues or the promoters? What are some key things that you would like to see as a band that would help you, I guess, not only A, do your job as musicians, but also B, kind of entice you to kind of like, okay, yeah, fuck yeah, they're trying, I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, that
I'll
right
say,
there.
I'll say it's
yeah.
a majority of the promoter side,
Yeah.
because I mean venues can only do so much.
Yeah,
It's-
because they
it's-
have like their marketing budget.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, on my side of things, like whenever I throw a show, I ask Anthony or Skylar or
Mhm.
Alex, like, hey, what does the $100 in marketing actually get? Does it get me a paid ad on one of the platforms? Does it get me, like what am I getting in return for this
Right.
$100 marketing? Because I could use that,
Mhm.
instead of putting it towards your budget, let me have it, and I think I can have more
Yeah.
impact.
Oh, dude, I wholeheartedly agree with that. $100 in marketing is a lot. You could blow a show up with $10.
Yeah, because I mean these days
just on social media
Yeah, dude,
alone,
like
that's
$2 a
huge.
day for 5 days. Like the
I didn't
week
know that
prior.
you could hyper focus it as much. As
You can
can.
hyper focus it quite
But-
literally to like the part of Austin that you want it to be.
Yeah. Once I
it's
watched
great.
that Cambridge Analytica shit, I know
Dude,
we said no politics, but
Dude,
yeah, that
yeah.
fucked me
Yeah.
up. I was like, oh, that's how they got my parents. So I was just sitting there and I was just like, oh my God. And then all these people are like, like it boggles my mind. Like I'm 39, I'll be 40 in a month. And
I'm sorry.
just rest in peace. But just seeing the way that social media can be used to get people. Sorry, I'm trying to choose my words wisely here.
Mhm.
Trying to use social media to get people to care,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, but we take social media for granted. I personally think that a lot of people do. Like
Yes.
back in okay, you were just talking about MySpace.
Mhm.
That is one of the most OG social media platforms on the planet, and it
Mhm.
was so cool. It was so cool.
It was
Tom was
perfect.
everybody's friend.
Yeah.
Everyone was learning to code. They didn't even know it.
Dude, yeah, I
know?
literally learned how to do HTML code from MySpace.
Yeah, and now it's just all click of buttons, and you can change templates. You can,
Yeah.
I remember just like I want the color specifically FF350. Whatever.
Yeah, you would memorize the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And then like changing your background and like the top 5 and then whatever else was mixed in there. Yeah, like we are the early generation IT guys. But I just feel like there is this lack of effort when it comes to getting people to the show.
Mhm.
Right.
I feel like the onus is more on the
And-
bands now.
All of that comes with the caveat that we also know that these people have, everyone has other stuff going on. Nobody
Of course.
exactly has, all the free time in the world to dedicate it to it, unless that is your job or
Yeah.
something like that. There's someone behind me.
Oh no, I was
Okay.
just no. I was looking at the Sling Studio box.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I haven't
yeah.
used it in a while, so I'm
I was
just
like, what is it?
it?
But we say it all with the caveat of that we understand that it can be worked upon, but we're happy that you're throwing shows.
Yeah.
We just want to be
like
included,
we're happy to be there.
and we want it to be good for the people. It's not for
Yeah.
us.
That's
necessarily.
another thing I wanted to add is that like, when's the last time we put? I guess the tour, the little Texas tour that we did was the last time that we actually
hit up venues.
threw a show.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we were the ones putting it on. But before that, I can't even remember the last time we
That
were.
might just be a name in the game kind of thing. Like we've been around
like,
for a while.
Most shows that we played in the past, like since the pandemic, have been promoters or other bands inviting us to play those shows. And so I guess it's a little different aspect. Like when you're a supporting band,
Support
that's getting
versus
asked
I got
to-
you.
yeah.
because like if we threw the show, like you can bet that we're gonna put a lot a lot of effort into promoting, trying to get people to go to that.
I will say, because I used to do that, like where I would throw shows in Burnham and stuff, and I never expected a band to pull anything. It was all on me. I was the one that was printing flyers and putting them everywhere and like all that kind of stuff. And I think that it's kind of like shifted a little bit now. It's all about numbers and everything else. Like, okay, this band's going to play at this slot because they have 500 followers, as opposed to this band that has 1,000 that could possibly bring people in, that, you know, and all that. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you think that maybe promoters are looking at online numbers?
Oh yeah,
They for
versus
sure are.
maybe even
Some of them will say that
market.
in like the
like Instagram,
whenever you go to
like
email,
writers.
they'll be like,
Yeah.
you need to have X amount of blank to be able to like read
Yeah.
What?
yeah,
What?
There's a venue in our hometown that you have to have like 20 hours of work, like albums, like music out,
Doable.
music content, and then you have to have a certain amount of like followers on all your socials
Holy shit!
to even book a gig there.
yeah. And that's in a tiny town.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
It's wild.
okay. I understand it. I get it. They're like,
You wanna
because
guarantee
they
some
don't
kind
want,
of-
they don't want like beginner musicians like booking a show and no one's
see, that's
no one's
like,
showing up. Like,
that's the bad part of it, is like, because then you're not giving
Mhm.
people a chance.
Like, give it
Right.
and
a
then
shot.
and then so like you
You
can't
lose
get mad at these like small time like bands because they're not having a chance to even grow a following in the first place.
Right.
Like you can use follow bot, and so like there are plenty of bands that have 10,000 followers and half of them are bots, and they're not even real
and then
people.
at the same time, there's like shows that I've done like by myself. I used to do like just solo stuff in high school. That all I did was hit up the owner of this restaurant to do 2 hours of covers, and they paid me like $300-400.
Yeah, dude, I did not, and this is just kind of a aside. I did not realize that people that do covers just acoustically at these random spots. Like, I always go to this place.
money.
Dude,
it's
I go
insane.
I go to this place. Okay, 2 examples. I go to Culinary Dropout. It's in the Domain, and typically they have someone playing an acoustic set or just whatever, and it's just their version of popular songs. And I'll be sitting there eating and be like, "Damn, okay, all right."
Today is gonna be the
Yeah,
day that I
exactly.
got
Put it back in, eat, you know. And then golly, and so then my wife, she works out at this place called the Lucky Rabbit in Jonestown.
Oh yeah.
And they have a live stage, and bands that I've never heard of. Of course, it's not like my flavor of music. I want to fill it with bands like y'all and like really show them how to throw a party. But they had this one band, I can't remember the name, but they were expected to have 1,000 people there, and it was just covers.
That's crazy.
And I'm just like, okay, do they have any original music? And again, I'm happy that I kind of don't remember who this band is, but their original music was kind of,
yeah, it's kind of not.
and then they would come
Garbo.
back in with like, Incubus, and the crowd would go wild.
Right.
Yeah.
And they pay them
Yeah.
like $500, $600, $700.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do we get
Like convert that into
right?
yeah.
How do we get the cover bands?
I will say that was it where's Midland? Is that East? No, West Texas.
West.
Dude, that scene over there is amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
And,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
and
I've never
there's
been up there.
It's amazing. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that everyone's bored out of their mind.
Yeah, there's nothing to do.
But Sound Deep Magazine, Annie, Annie
shout out
Love,
Annie.
yeah, she is with Sound. That's how she books shows. She does it all herself. She does all the promotion the way that it used to be,
Nice.
and you can see how successful it is because
Yeah.
like we played like a festival there, and there was hundreds of people that showed up, and it was all thanks to her hard work,
No
like
shit.
her
No
putting it
one
in.
knew who we
Yeah.
were
No.
at all.
And dude, we've been in a magazine over there, like all
What?
kinds of shit.
think-
Yeah,
Yeah. Also,
I think one band on the bill knew who we were,
yeah,
and that was just because we played shows with them before.
yeah.
we've actually played all of our bigger shows have been 7 hours away,
Yeah.
not in Austin.
So
Surprisingly,
wow.
out in the
I
desert.
think,
Yeah.
I think that's the short answer to the whole question is this area just got to get with it, like because there's other areas that are doing it.
and they're just not.
Yeah, and I guess the prime like example is that them over there, they're putting the time in, not expecting the bands to just bring all these people, and they're actually making people come.
Right.
And we've gained so many fans literally from that. Like we are sounding
Then again,
forever, man. Like, you know,
Straight up.
I
like,
will say, as far as heavy music goes, it's a little more saturated here.
yeah.
Oh,
Just because there's so many bands.
yeah.
But like in Midland, Odessa, you got a handful of like heavy
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
heavy bands.
And every time we play over there, it's always mixed genre, and that's
Oh,
what that's
yeah.
what brings people in.
That's what
Like,
I
we
love
had-
about.
Pop punk. You had a few rappers. We had some almost ska type stuff over there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Ooh, some ska.
But it was all fun. Everybody had fun with every band. Everybody was out there just having a good time.
There was
It
no
great.
elitist.
Yeah.
Like we're not
No
we're too good
gatekeepers.
to be here. and all that.
So we mentioned Flip Cup. They're basically like Blink 182 style.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, it's
that
great.
kind of pop punk. And we did 4 shows with them on a Texas run, and every show was amazing just because
nice.
there were people who were there that got a good mix of everything.
Yeah.
You got punk, you got really heavy shit from us,
Yeah.
and then we got like some shoegazy stuff in Tyler,
The band that
Um,
sounded like Nirvana.
some more pop punk in Dallas.
Yeah.
Some stoner.
some stoner
Any
rock.
stoner
Yeah.
grunts?
Who's the?
I'd really like to see you again.
Yeah, I really like to see you again.
That was
from
on
Austin.
Okay.
They were
They
sick.
they came out
Three-piece.
to Houston and played that show with us.
No shit.
That was the other
They
cool
were
thing is that
amazing.
they don't.
They're like slowcore.
Yeah, I think that was what they titled as.
Oh, I know, not 3-piece. They're
It's
4-piece.
like shoegaze.
But like they go like
Slowcore.
ham. Like dude, the drummer's set
He's
up.
standing.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, it's
standing when
wild.
he's playing. Yeah, it was
good.
super cool.
The steps on the kick. I mean,
I think it was just floor.
Yeah, it was just a floor
Yeah.
tom and
Oh.
a snare and a couple cymbals.
And then he had like the chimes.
Yeah,
and
wind
shit.
chimes.
Yeah,
They were
it
really
was- It was
cool.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
that's
But that was the cool
band is
thing
this?
about that run too.
I really
I'd
like
really like to see you again.
And
they're
they're
from
the
they're from
meme
here.
kings.
Oh yeah,
by
the,
the way.
whole promotion up to that they were just dropping memes. It was
okay. So
amazing.
yeah, so this kind of ties back into promotion. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
because
you
they were
just
doing
gotta-
it. Yeah, they were doing it from their own account, and they would because they were playing Houston rap, so they were doing like chopped and screwed like memes or something like
Yeah.
that, just in
Just like
promotion for
City
the
of
show.
Syrup.
Yeah,
Just
it had like a
album
lean
cover,
cup
yeah.
and like the freaking like 50-50 hat or whatever, 59-50
Yeah.
hat. Yeah. it was-
Perfect.
The dog. What is that? The
which one? There's a
The-
bunch of
the-
dogs.
man the Shiba
Oh,
Inu
Doge.
dog.
Shiba Inu, yeah.
Oh,
The
Dogecoin?
Doge, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
It was great.
Well, I guess that just kind of goes back in that, knowing that, from the band side that you guys feel like, and of course this is just your personal
Yeah,
experience,
yeah,
but
totally.
I have heard it from, such as, Robert from Overt Enemy, that the promotion side is lacking. And maybe that's where there's shortcomings that when you go to a venue and, because the one thing that I hate is I think that every band should make, hundreds of dollars, but, we live in the real world and
Yeah.
understand that sometimes a 6-pack and some pizza is like all you're going to get.
Dude, and
Dude,
like,
I would love some pizza.
Yeah.
Dude, free food.
Like,
but at the same time, like,
Free food is better than
No.
most of the payouts of the shows that we play.
every time we played in West Texas, they paid us like couple $100, and we're like,
Like,
This
what
is like
are-
money?
yeah,
Exactly.
like what?
there's money in this?
And they're like, you drove so far, and like we don't like that's sad that's the mentality. We don't expect it. We don't
No.
expect anything at all. Like we just are here to play the show.
I've had, and again, I think I was telling, I think you when we were walking up that, when they gave me this spot. That
Oh
like,
yeah,
that it, it cost money to rent this entire space out.
Yeah.
But they're just letting us use it for like a trial run, or
Mhm.
maybe because they're like, there's that closeness.
Yeah,
And even though when I go to promote a show, I hope that the bands that I ask aren't thinking that I'm doing it like because we're bros or like we run into each other and we both have like this, like, oh, you run a podcast, we were in a band. Of course, there's, cross promotion. They're like, I want to pay you what I think you're worth. So I'll try to stack the lineup as big as I can.
Yeah.
with a good mix. And, my showcases are this kind of genre blended.
yeah.
I'll throw some shit in the middle as a palette cleanser.
yeah,
Just so like typically
Yeah.
it's an acoustic, not acoustic, it's like an instrumental or like a progressive kind of just shoegazy kind of thing, just to kind of break up the harshness of the
Mm.
night. But I do think that, because when you get on a show, it's like kind of just metalcore, just hardcore.
people are burnt out by the end of it.
You
and they
saw,
leave.
third band, you're just like,
Yeah.
Sounded like the second one.
So this is good for me just to hear you say things like that, because a lot of what we get from promoters is just here's the time, here's who you're playing with and stuff like that. To hear, like you care. I know that everyone else
than
cares.
just
Yeah.
So like we all think that there can be improvement, but we know that it's a working process. Everyone's learning,
Yeah.
It
And,
can't be
and
done
the amount
overnight,
of
you know?
the amount of times we've heard from promoters like, "Oh, y'all are way too heavy for this bill,"
That's like, okay, so I haven't.
or the vice versa. Y'all aren't heavy
Aren't
enough
heavy
for
enough.
this bill.
You're hard to place,
Yeah.
right? So getting on a bill is just like, okay, here we go. Like I tried to book a show. Actually, it was a 3-day run. It was my first time ever trying something like this because I throw my one show a year, come and take it. That's easy.
Mhm.
But I would just needed to. I was like, I can do 3 days. 3 days is easy. I'll just hit up.
Showing up every day.
I'll just hit up 2 venues. I already got come and take it locked in.
Yeah.
They've given me the Saturday. I need to find a date, a place in Houston on Friday and a place in San Antonio on Sunday.
Oof.
Well, a place in San Antonio on Sunday basically does not exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Bro,
not
that's-
know that.
That's the rest.
And the
day.
fact that you guys laugh at that statement,
Well, we just played San Antonio, and that was that same kind of vibe. It's like, what are we
Yeah.
doing in a record shop on a?
Yeah.
it was on a Saturday too.
It might have
wasn't
been,
it?
yeah. It was the
What
last
was
day of
it?
that run.
So our second show we ever played, we opened up for Silent Planet, and it was a
think it was a
sold
Saturday.
out like.
Oh yeah, Jack's
show.
Bar. That's right, in San Antonio.
Oh my God, what day was that on? That was a weird
Yeah, it was
day
middle of
too.
the
Yeah,
week.
that was middle of the week.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the week, dude, and it was completely packed.
Wall to wall.
Yeah, like I remember turning around and being like, "Oh fuck me."
You're like, I have to say words now? Oh, man.
To be fair, it's Silent Planet.
Of course.
Like, that's
Hey,
expected.
I have
No, we all know they were there for y'all.
Yo,
Okay.
shout out Garrett.
I mean,
for,
Garrett actually got us on the show. He like
Yeah.
we have a picture. He was like,
I
tell the story.
I
yeah.
went to a Silent Planet show.
Okay.
Like
So this
months.
is the story about how you guys got on
Yeah.
with Silent
yeah,
Planet.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I went to a Silent Planet show months before this, and Garrett's just an amazing human. He's one of those who sticks around at the merch
Oh,
table,
shoes
and
off,
meets
walking
everyone.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, yeah.
salt of
Gave
the
me-
earth.
gives
Yeah.
you hugs all the time for no reason.
And
Yeah.
and I was like, hey man, like we'll do pretty much anything that you can help us out with. Like what can we do to open for you next time you come through Texas? And he was like, all right, he tears off a piece of like an envelope that probably had like money in it or something. Just tears off a piece, writes on it, says, I want Familiar with Failure to open for us. And he's like, hey, take a picture of this. Like me holding this. And so I took a picture.
Oh,
He's like,
almost like him taking a picture
Yeah.
of like the news, like
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
just holding it. with
Basically,
like
smiling.
a kidnapping video, right? I'm
He's
still
like-
alive. Today's date. Look,
He's like, we'll be back in Texas in a couple months. Send this to the promoter.
no shit.
And so I followed through and
Yeah, we
it
literally
worked
hit
out.
up the promoter. They're like, "Yeah, no," and then Colby's like, "Trump card." Boom.
Uno reverse.
Uno reverse.
Yeah.
Eat
And
this.
it was
Talk to
fun. It
Garrett.
was great. It was fun. Yeah.
Actually, I got a story. Before you went to that show, if you got him to do it, we all went to go see Prada, Silent Planet, a band called Thousand Below, which they're kind of
Thousand
they're blowing
Below.
up now. This is
Yeah, I
their
love
first
Thousand
album,
Below.
their first album tour with them.
Love me some Thousand Below.
I was talking to Garrett at the merch table. I said, "Hey, I don't think we haven't even had a band name yet, have we?
No.
I think we've practiced like once or twice."
Yeah.
I told Garrett, "Look, my band's
That's
gonna
a
open
good
up for you one day."
segue.
He's like, "Let's do it, yeah."
Just
Go ahead.
manifest it.
And then he fucking said on stage. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, they literally said that they were gonna open up."
It
for
was
us one day,
like a
and they
year.
fucking
It was a
did
year
Yeah.
later, almost to the day. Yeah,
Oh, so like during the set, he was like,
yeah.
shout out to the local band kind
he
of
was
thing.
like, Shout out
Yeah.
to Familiar with Failure. You said you were gonna open for us one day,
Yeah,
basically.
and when we were loading in to Jack's bar, I swear to God, I thought he was homeless. Like he was sitting down crisscross.
Garrett, we love
I love you, Garrett.
Garrett, we
For
love
some
you.
reason, you're
Yes.
listening to this.
He is homeless.
But
Yeah, he
was-
was couch
for a
surfs.
long
he
time.
was sitting crisscross eating something barefoot. He's like, "You ready to rock out, man?" I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh shit, it's Garrett.
It's so crazy. And that's the thing that I really find interesting is, you know, before I started podcasting, I would go to shows and of course, you know, you have your favorites.
Yeah.
You would want to talk to them and, you know, hit them up in the merch line. And I always had like this afterthought in my head, like, they don't want to talk to us.
Yeah.
Come on. They just want to they want to sell their merch. They want to get their drink, chill
Yeah.
out, you know, take a
They're
shower
tired.
if possible
Yeah.
and get the fuck on the road.
Exactly.
And then just from literally just, you know, doing this and talking to local bands and knowing that I was like, well, man, if the local bands love to talk to fans, then, you know, the bigger bands
Oh,
have
yeah.
to as
Yeah.
well. But you just have to find like the right time, right?
Yeah.
I think there's this thing called after show etiquette,
Mhm.
right? Like you just can't, I mean, if they tell you like, yeah, we'll be in the merch bag, you know, like they'll tell you
Yeah.
that's just the call to action. Like, you know, go get a drink. Let me fucking rinse my face off. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then
I
I'll come see you.
I got decompression time. after a set. Yeah, I gotta
exactly.
I gotta
and then
kind
I
of
have
cool off.
vocal rest time where I have to like just kind of not talk
But
for
we
a little
absolutely
bit.
want to talk to you.
Yeah.
We want you to come by, and we mean it when we say it. That's
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
I can't count how many times like God, like you thinking like Garrett was a homeless dude. I was talking to the drummer of oh my God. Give me a second.
Gears
I'll
are
think of it.
turning in there.
Well,
Oh my God, I
can smell
cannot
it.
believe
Like
it was with Mother of Pearl. Day to
Mother
remember.
of
A
Pearl.
day
yeah,
to
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Jeez. Come on, Prevagen.
Shell Nut.
So we were on stage. I went there to
Right?
go meet.
That's his name, right? Alex.
I have no idea.
Shell Nut.
I still don't know. I'll probably never know. I mean, I could Google it.
Nah, it's
but-
okay. We don't need it
No, we're good. Not
for the purpose of the
but
story.
yes.
He's either the drummer or the bassist, but yeah, continue.
It was definitely the drummer
Gotcha.
because I was standing backstage with Jose Escudero. If you guys don't know who he is, that dude is gear tech that has traveled the world.
Oh,
with
yeah,
like
we know
Alter
Jose.
Bridge,
Yeah.
and I mean he's done runs with I think Sepultura. I mean he's everywhere and everywhere all at the
He's
same
got
time.
a big social media
Oh
presence too.
yeah,
right?
I mean
yeah.
he's always posting these sexy photos,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just like, can we trade spots? I love you, wife. So the next thing you know is he invites me down because it was A Day to Remember, and I think it was I'll think of the other band in a minute, but The Used, duh.
Ah.
So The Used was opening up for A Day to Remember. I've never seen them either in concert, and I was like,
that must have been a sick show.
oh my God. He was like, yeah, come on down. I'll get you in. And I was like, he's like, I got extra tickets because he's with the band. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. I get it. We're at the Moody Amphitheater, the new one in Austin. And we get to the gate. He hands me a ticket. Bloop. Sorry, this one's been used. He hands me another ticket. Bloop. Sorry, this one's been used. He's like, well, I got these from the stage manager. Hold on one second. He pulls out this all access pass. And that doesn't get scanned. That's just you show it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you got one of them? Okay.
Okay.
So
You get sandwiches. And
I
all
just
the stuff.
instantly went from just, GA and enjoying myself, which I
Yeah.
would have 100%,
Yeah.
to now I'm all access backstage. Like, get the fuck out of here. So we're walking around and I got photos from behind. I mean, it's just a totally different
Cool,
thing
yeah.
backstage.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jose was like, hey man, come over here, remember he's getting ready to go on. And so we're just standing there and there's this guy to my left. I thought he was a roadie or like a stagehand. And we're just shooting the shit. And he's like, who are you here to see? I was like, oh dude, man, like both. I've been
All
down.
of the above.
Yeah, I've been down with A Day for so long and
Yeah.
used. He's like, cool, man. All right. And then we just started like chit chatting. And then as they're going off, they have like this ritual, I guess, where everybody gets a fist bump. Anybody that's backstage, entire band, fist bumps on the way out.
That's sick.
And I got to get one of the fist bumps.
Mhm.
And the guy I was talking to, who I thought was a roadie, went on stage. I'm like,
You're like, wait, what?
Like,
oh yeah.
I was like,
man.
Jose, man, you
All
could have
right.
fucking told me. He was like, bro, I thought you knew. Like, that's the drummer for A Day to. I was like, but at the same time, they're just people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just
That reminds
Sometime-
me of one of the Warped Tour stories I had with Garrett again. Again, I don't know how much time we have, or I don't want to.
I would say, yeah, let's go 10 more. Yeah, 10
Gotcha.
more.
Okay, that story's quick. He had a class. I think it was like Think TEI or something like that. Was
Okay.
hosting a class. He was doing a songwriting one. I was the only one that bought it, and so me and him just had a little conversation. And then he was like,
I'm
"You
sorry.
want to go meet the band?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to go meet the band." So he brought me behind. This is another one of the moments where I was like, "I want to do this." We tried so hard to get on Warped Tour that last year. But bringing me back to their tent, and I got to meet the Fit for a King guys. I met the Hatebreed guys. One other band that I can't remember, and then Silent Planet. Just to be back there, and I mean, people are so nice.
Hell
And
yeah,
again,
dude.
they're just hanging out, like they're just chilling. Like,
Yeah,
For
I mean,
sure.
they're probably back there playing video games or reading or,
Yeah.
like,
when
sorry,
we
that
play-
sounded
yeah,
like,
we do eat.
Something we don't
eat.
do.
Yeah, we eat.
who reads books? But what was I gonna say? Yeah, when we played with Silent Planet, Mitch was just sitting back there making music on his laptop the whole time, just
Yeah.
shooting the shit with everybody. I remember oh fuck, what's his name? The bass player? Thomas, yeah, Thomas comes in because he was that was when the Sahara Desert was
so
blowing
funny.
in dust
All the
or whatever.
dust, yeah.
And he just walks in and he's like, he can barely talk. He's like, "What the fuck is the Sahara Desert?" Like he's like, "I can't fucking like breathe." Like, oh shit. And we're just like, "That's a." I think it was Kyle was like, "That's a desert, man." And he's like, "Where?" Yeah, because he was like, "Where the fuck is the Sahara?" That's what he said.
You're like surprised.
Yeah. I don't know why there's dust over here, but yeah. So you were talking about loneliness, and now that like that's one of those things where we were, it's about people completing suicide and how there's friends and everybody.
Yeah, sorry, hard left.
They're like
it's about to get real.
We as a band, a lot of our all of our music is about like mental health, like the new stuff coming out where we talk about addiction, all these other things. But loneliness is like that song that we use to be like, hey, like we do that. We're here for you guys. If you're struggling, dude, we'll be right over there. You like, I work in mental health. Like I'm actually a recovery assistant. That's my That's my adult job. Yeah, and so like I can give uneducated advice, just from experience dealing with those kinds of things, and so that's kind of like what we've like based our like band around is like we're your friends, like please come talk to us.
Yeah, we
like,
mean every bit of it. Like we really truly. And this is well, real quick. This is where I wanted to thank you, is because we have been a band for so long and we haven't got to do this. We haven't got to tell you who we are and what we want to do.
No, I mean, man, this is like I said, this is one of you guys are one of the remaining like older bands that still exist that are still doing stuff. And I not every day, but whenever my release radar hits or I'm at a show and I get to see a band I haven't seen in a long time and they're playing like new music or something, and I'm just like, oh my god, like why have I not talked to them? So it's just I feel like it's if I want to keep going to shows just as a general concert goer and a lover of music, that I need to do something, whether that be share a flyer or invite people to a show or, keep this going. And, as much of a headache, I mean, like I said, it took us an hour and a half to set this up. We've never done this together.
Yeah.
So and I mean, it really does help that this is like your day job. So, I mean, these sick ass cameras.
Yeah.
But just
if you ever need us, just
we will work out some type of agreement, because I really want to be able to add value to the bands that are bringing value to my life.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that I was able to, and I know that everybody listening, that I beat this through and through, but support your local musicians any way that you can. And one of the ways that I do is when I go to interview a band, I'll go run and I'll just listen to their entire discography. Now I know that Spotify, 0.008 cents or whatever it is, whatever.
Doesn't matter to us.
But
we're happy you're listening.
It's still going to, it's still going to get those numbers up, and it's still going to show that people are out there actively consuming this music. And it just reminds me that, if you like the music, you have to do something more. Like, for example, I listen to NPR like every fucking day. I'm such a dad, and they just did their summer drive where you become a monthly sustaining member.
Yeah.
And they were basically kind of saying like, we can't do this without y'all.
Yeah.
Like that's legitimate. Like if there is not public contributions going into the national public radio, then of course it will cease to exist. And of course they get a little supplemental from the government, and every year it gets lower and lower and lower. So they're actually turning into almost like a crowdsourced funded entity completely, which is what bands are from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you guys are crowdfunded through and through pretty much your entire music career, unless the planets align and the right music producer is in the building when they hear the song and they see the set and then they mention it to so-and-so and then you're on a tour and then you're doing this, you know what I mean? Like, but the only way they're going to hear it is if, everybody does their part, So if you're just listening to this and you just like their music or you like music in general, I always just say it's like, do you like music? Then come to the show. There's something that you'll find. It may not, some bands might put you off. Like I remember I didn't like hardcore that much until I saw Spite live.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got some fun.
That was my aha moment for the way harder stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course all the accounts that are doing like breakdowns and bleh tutorials and, you know, all this stuff. Like speaking of which, like I haven't wore this shirt in forever. It's my like Moss the Flame shirt.
Yeah, it's a sick shirt.
That's a band that I think will forever have some of just the sickest riffs, and you know, people can at me, I don't give a fuck. But I know that their sound has evolved because they've got God knows how many albums now. I think they're up to 7.
Dude, for real.
Something like
Chris
that.
is like an insane vocalist, dude.
Dude,
Like,
and the fact that that I really love a sing screen, you know,
Yeah.
like there are
We're just
we
talking
were
about
just
that
talking
on
about
the
like
way
the
here.
false chord stuff. Like, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it really just adds another layer, especially if it's one person doing double duty.
Yeah.
That is to me just like, well, all right, you know, best of luck. Don't blow your vocal cords. 'Cause
Yeah.
there goes the whole fucking set, you know. But I mean, yeah, just like Moths. I don't even know where I was going with this, but yeah, where the fuck was I going with this? This happens once an episode. I lose track.
That's okay.
Like Moss,
Like moths to flame.
screaming, stand. You know what? Forget it.
Moth.
We'll move on.
We have a moth on our album
Yeah.
cover.
Oh,
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Segue.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how many songs did you screenshot from playlisting?
I think it was 2
Okay, gotcha.
because I only
Loneliness
I went on a small run, a short jaunt, and I screen
A brisk
grabbed. Let's see, loneliness,
jog.
and I also grabbed. Oh no, that's Polaris. Oh man, did you guys hear about the
Dude,
guy
Yeah.
Polaris?
Oh,
R.I.P.,
yeah.
bro.
That was so sad.
Man, that's
That's one of my favorite
that's
bands.
so sad to see anybody pass away.
Yeah.
But to see someone that was so influential to
I think
hundreds of thousands of
early
people.
on, Josh and I were talking about doing like a Polaris cover
Mm-hmm. What was
just
it?
because we like their vocal style so
Yeah.
much.
6 feet deep.
6 feet deep.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
my
Well,
god.
it's an oldie.
I went back.
Thanks for not picking like Heartless, which is like the top song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone.
Well,
has
Well, I
that.
think
knows
I think the reason that it's probably just where it started.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's the Heartless is where it starts. Then
I'm
Broken Tongue,
I'm trying to remember the lyrics.
Lost Thought.
We were talking about 6 feet the other day.
Yeah. So that one was one of the like the visual like lyric things that I wrote. I think.
Dude, we like when we first started that first album, it was very like we were going in this weird like cinematic like metalcore
Yeah.
thing.
We're big
Astronaut.
movie nerds
Yeah.
and,
Oh.
and film
Yeah.
nerds.
We'll have to
And
have a
so
recap and just do like
whenever
a y'all podcast, like
Especially-
no music, just
Oh, yeah.
because you guys run a podcast too.
yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead and
it's a
plug
spooky
that.
It's a
pod.
Why are we
horror
not even-
podcast. If you're into scary stories,
Yeah,
we do everything
It's-
from ghost stories, aliens,
Yeah.
creepypastas, like
it's just a bunch of metal dudes trying to scare each other,
yeah.
like with scary stories. That's
It's got
literally what
a
it is.
good
When do you
little
guys-
mix of comedy in there.
Do you guys do it
Just-
live? or
we
pre-record?
used to do it live on Twitch, but
Yeah.
we don't do that no more. Now we just pre-record it. But we're actually going to be like gutting that out and reworking it and making it better.
Coming up
Basically,
on
yeah.
50, right?
We're almost to 50.
We're on 47 now, so we're doing 2 more episodes, and then
Do a big
Is it
Overhaul.
all 4 of you?
No,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
for a while.
This dude lives in Smithville, like which is like 30 minutes away from where we are.
He's
and
like,
it's-
"You're just gonna
it's-
call in,
it's
okay?"
It's hard for us 3 who live in the same city
Mhm.
to get together and record,
yeah,
and
especially with my work
it's-
schedule.
I don't know. Plus, I think the podcast thing was just a little more fit for me and Josh, really, and then Caleb's just like along for the ride.
Dude, no.
He's like, I
this
just
man-
sit here.
This man tells some great stories.
Yeah,
though.
no, he
could
is
be
a
an
very
author.
great
I enjoy writing.
storyteller.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
right?
little short
Yeah.
stories whenever we do
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Like some of the stories in the podcast, like he'll literally tell the story, and I'm especially me because I'm a huge weenie. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I wrote that. I'm like, God damn it! Like you could have like,
Yeah.
I would have been afraid to go home tonight if you wouldn't have told me.
Yeah. Yeah, or the room we
Yeah,
practice in.
we've-
It's in the garage of the house.
Yeah.
It's
All right, we'll close out with the haunted ghost
All right,
story.
cool.
of the band.
okay.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's an ongoing thing. It's pretty
Oh.
consistent. Yeah, there's stuff moving
Yeah.
around, constantly dropping. I
We've welcomed it in.
yeah. Well, yeah, we do
Yeah.
so much stuff in there, like with the horror stuff. Like we have a Ouija board. We have all kinds of occult little items everywhere.
What?
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you're welcoming things in. But yeah,
Satan.
things dropping. I was playing Outlast Trials last night with a friend.
Is that a
Oh,
game?
Yeah, just a recent
it's
game.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's a spooky game. And they told me that they heard a strum of a guitar in the room.
An acoustic guitar.
And I was like, that didn't happen here.
And he had
that's
two,
the best. It happens all
so
to
he
him.
has two acoustic guitars
They were nearby,
sitting up against a table right behind him whenever this happened.
And
So-
someone said that they heard the strum.
Yeah, they heard
Yeah.
a clear strum, and I was like, it's not going.
They're like, no, I swear to God, I know it's that one because I know it's out of tune. I heard an out of tune guitar. No.
Like, well, what's great is
I
like
completely avoid
Caleb
it.
is like, yeah, like it always happens to him, and he's the one that's like, I'm not gonna acknowledge that. Like, I'm not even gonna.
We've gotten.
If I don't say that it happened, it
I think
didn't happen.
the biggest creepy thing to me, because you've had a personal experience, you've had one. The one that gets me is that we've been locked in a few times.
Oh yeah.
The door will lock
Like
on us.
the door. Okay, so you know you have a deadbolt and then you have the doorknob lock.
Right.
Not the deadbolt. The doorknob lock will be turned to lock.
Only locked into. We've never been locked out.
Yeah, it's never
Yeah.
locked us out.
Which is weird.
And we,
Yeah.
we get on each
Like,
other about like,
we'll-
you sure you didn't do
we'll-
it? Nobody's.
Yeah.
You know what? It's
I don't
all
think
their
it's-
fault.
We
They bought this
we
fucking
joke
creepy-ass
about it
doll.
a lot, but like more times than we've joked about it, it's actually happened.
I think it's 9
no
times
one's-
now. Like
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
The reason why we're haunted is these two. I'm terrified of dolls, and we had a doll
Yeah.
episode, and they bought a fucking doll that is slowly falling apart.
is
By the way, her name is
deteriorating by the day.
Elvira. Yeah, and she
Made up a
is
whole
fucking
story that
No. No, dude, I almost cried.
Oh, dude,
was
I got you so
fucking
good with it.
They like pulled it. They're like telling me this fucking story about this doll, and then I'm like, and then they're like, and then the owner like, what did you
So
say?
I made up. It's not a real story for anyone that goes back and listens. I made up the story. I bought this doll and I made up the story of like, this is the first owner. This is what happened to
so
them.
good.
This is the second owner. This is what happened to them. And then it ended up in the shop where it's been living for a while. And by the way, open up a drawer. I bought it, and here it is. Yeah, and
He's just
and
like,
then we tried
trembling.
to play it off.
no.
We tried to
no.
play it off that this
Yeah, I
story
literally
was
did
real.
that. I was like, get that shit away from me. I'm
we
gonna
tried
leave.
to play it off that this story was real and that we went and seeked like to find this doll, but really we just
I felt so
we just
awful
found
that
the
I-
doll
you-
and then
Sorry,
Caleb
in
made
an
a story.
oddity.
almost
an
in
oddity shop.
literal tears, shaking. I felt awful. So I was like, it's not real. Josh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
And,
We're no longer
that doll-
friends.
but that doll, like, is
It is very
it's-
creepy.
It's,
It's-
very
it's
weird how it's like
terrifying.
deteriorating and everything.
Her name is Elvira.
yeah.
Elvira.
Elvira.
So
That's
My daughter has actually voiced her. We did like a little spin-off episode where like my daughter was her voice and they made it move and stuff. Yeah.
oh my god. What is the name of the podcast?
Dead Reflections podcast.
podcast.
Dead Reflections.
Yeah.
Available everywhere.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I'll put the link. Put a link in the description.
Yeah, well, I've been touched on my back
dude,
one time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have a part 2. Yeah. Because I feel like
We
because
should
every time.
combine them an ATX Metal Dead Reflections podcast.
Oh, we can have you
Why
on.
not?
You got any spooky
Yeah.
stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We've had guests
I see.
before.
I don't. It's. I'll bring my wife. She
There you go.
Oh,
loves
yeah.
all the horror
Gotcha.
stuff,
Hell yeah, dude.
and like, we even have this thing called Slasher Sunday,
Oh, nice.
where we put on just some scary movie in the background, and then we'll have people over and just like
Oh,
finger
that's cool.
foods,
Oh,
and
that's
just
so
whatever, and
cool.
whatever's playing in the background. Like people can like stop and
Mm.
or go sit down and watch it, and
Right.
it's typical like B-rated stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, that's the best one.
the shittier the better.
Yeah.
You know. But then typically she'll put on, like Halloween or
Mhm.
any of the classics. But yeah, I think that would be something that she might be interested in.
Yeah.
'Cause God, I would love to involve her in this, just in some shape, form, or fashion. And so I'm always trying to find like an angle, like, hey, why don't you come join me? And she's just like, no,
That's how my wife is.
I don't
She's like,
even
"That's
follow
your
If you ever
thing."
make it out to the
I don't even follow
countryside,
you on social media.
no.
if you ever make it out to our countryside in Lagrange, you're more than welcome to stop in for an
Yeah, because
episode.
we're always talking about, let's go.
If you go to
do
Houston, you drive
something.
through.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
you
if you
know?
go to Houston, you drive through Lagrange. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun. Any final
Oh, yeah, I
final
guess,
shout outs?
that we could do the plug for the new song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Should we give? Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just do full details.
It's all you.
So the new single's called Death Trip. So the title came from a video game.
Same thing as The Heartless, yeah.
Okay.
It's a very short indie video game.
I
It's
highly
kind of
recommend
I
you
wouldn't even
play
give
it.
any details. Just go
Yeah,
play it.
it's-
You can get
yeah,
it on.
yeah,
You can get it on
it's free.
itch.io.
Yeah.
Yeah, itch.io is where you can buy it. You pay what you want, and
H, like the letter
itch
H.
like itch. Itch.io,
Yeah.
and you go pay what you want. It's called Death Trips with an S.
Yeah. And so
Just on PC?
I
Yeah.
believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
we didn't want to get in trouble, so we took the S off. We called it Death Trip. And I kind of like it with like one of my favorite bands is Power Trip.
Right.
And so,
of course.
But the new song, it'll be coming out in August. We've played it at shows for
A little
almost
while now,
almost
yeah.
a year already.
Oh,
So
Been worked
We've
over.
been sitting on it.
so it's
Been worked
it's
over.
It's a newer song,
New
but
to
has
streaming
not
platforms.
been digitally
Yeah,
released.
there you go.
Yeah,
it's the newest one.
Oh, that's what I love about live shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Yeah, you
that's
get
what
the
we
little
try to
sneak
push.
peeks.
Is like
Yeah.
like you can hear our new material if you come to a show.
Yeah.
Like
That's for
Buy
every
your
it
band.
might
tickets
not be the
from the band.
greatest compared to the studio version, but
I always say if you can hit 85% of it live, like I was doom scrolling on TikTok, as we all do. And there was this guy that was basically saying like, you know, and I was just like I've said these exact words is, for example, just casually listening, the algorithm's hitting, and then all of a sudden it's like you hear this song you never heard before. You're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And you find it, you're like, cool. And then you're like, if you can go see them live, then go do it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Then you go see it live, and then you're just like, okay, the name of the song was, whatever. Oh, they're playing it. It's in their set list. Cool. I'm going to make sure that I'm here for that song. And then they nail it. And it's like, you know what? When you're on stage, have fun. Like, which I know you guys do. I've seen you guys play, countless times. And the fact is that there's some bands that are just so enamored with nailing it 100% that they actually lose sight of the show part of it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then you're just standing there, just, cross arms dad in the back. Just
I'm guilty of the opposite. I get too involved in the show
in the
aspect
show, but
that I
Dude,
mess
a
up.
prime example is the Chariot. Like out of all the shows I've ever watched on YouTube or seen live, those they're not even playing notes. They're just fucking going. The dude's climbing up on a thing, not even screaming the chorus, but
no one cares.
everyone's like, "Fucking, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen." Yeah.
Have you seen
And
Set the Stun?
Yeah, Set the
When we
Stun.
played
Oh
with
my
them?
god, dude, that guy's microphones. We opened up for Set the Stun. Great band. You should check them out if you haven't yet. And the guy's like microphone stand was like broken, and like we kept like trying to get it and
Yeah.
fix it, and he's just like, leave it alone. And the microphone was down here, and he's just laying
He's just
down,
like wrapped up in
laying
his
down,
cord.
just fucking playing guitar,
Yeah.
like just beating his guitar and screaming it, and it was the coolest.
He-
Like it was so cool.
He would drag his face across the stage.
Yeah,
Like, no
like-
bullshit. This dude was out of his fucking mind.
What
Or
band
for-
is this?
Set
Set
the
the
Stun.
Set to stun, yeah.
Yeah,
We played with them over at Dirty Dog. That's when he did all
yeah,
that,
that
shit.
was that Dirty Dog. Yeah,
Such a good time.
So like bands that can like be a safety hazard, but also sound amazing
and be sweethearts.
and be sweethearts.
Yeah, all wrapped in
those
one.
are the ones that you want to go see.
That's the best part is like, doing these, I get to know bands, band members more personally. So,
Yeah, yeah.
when they
this
get
has been
off set,
fun.
we can have like a normal conversation or, talk about comics or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
And we were talking about like going to see bands live is that like even songs that have been out for years, these bands change up a lot because
yeah.
it gets boring playing the same song over and over. And so they add stuff. And so you get to go see the live version of that.
yeah, and it's like, oh, that's cool
it's a
that they
whole
put that
nother-
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, I didn't hear this on the way down.
Right.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Right. Yeah. Like we've changed tunings and songs just because we wrote it at a different tuning and we were like, oh, this sounds heavier for tuned
Tonight.
down. Drop fuck is what we
There
like
it
to
is.
Drop
call it.
fuck.
Dro-
Drop
Um,
fuck, yeah. You playing G? No, I'm playing drop fuck. Figure it out. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Death Trip. It's featuring the vocalist of Brightburn.
yes,
Alec,
great band.
Okay.
Alec Torres. Sweetheart, dude is the nicest.
He's
person
like a
in the
miniature
world.
Garrett from Silent Planet. Like miniature as in like he's not very tall.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what miniature means.
So he looks like Garrett, but he sounds like Darius from Spite.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He does.
Dude is a monster.
Yeah. Like
And,
and it's
uh,
crazy to think that sound comes out of that little man.
A dairy Garrett.
A Dairy
Dairy Gary.
DeGarrett.
DeGarrett.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him in my phone as DeGarrett. That's amazing. He's gonna text me like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And the music video for Death Trip is premiering on Slam Worldwide.
Ooh, nice.
So,
That'll get some traction.
Yeah, we're
Slam always
hoping.
has some good stuff.
We
Them,
made it
Beheaded Traitor.
ourselves
Yeah,
They're homemade in the band room, the haunted band room,
the Haunted Man Room.
Even
with
better.
sheets and lights.
with these very
You're like,
backlights.
we made a music video about that looks about the same on par as the videos that we like the horror. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it looks underrated. Like, man, they shot this with an iPhone. You're like,
Have you seen?
we sure did.
yeah.
Speaking of Spite, have you seen Caved In? The music video for Caved In.
Probably, but just
That's a lot of inspiration to the music video we did for Death
Okay.
Trip.
It's like silhouettes kind of
Yeah.
like thing, like,
Nice.
and then just switching back. And there's no full band shots. It's all single. Like,
Well, I can't wait to see it. That's gonna be.
thank you.
Hell yeah.
This is my wife bothering me. Yep.
Yeah.
Sure is.
All right. That's
Where
it,
are you
guys.
at?
That's a wrap.
That's it. Well, any final shout outs? Anything to plug? Anybody to promote?
Shout out Dylan Courts. He produced Death Trip and Broken Tongue, which
Yeah.
we released a year ago.
Nice.
Um,
Guitarist in
so-
Living Hollow and Hopeless. Or
Yeah.
Hope.
Well,
Well,
now
he's a
the
vocalist
frontman
for Living Hollow now.
Yeah.
yeah, he's the vocalist for Living Hollow.
Is
And
he?
then
Yeah.
The
See?
last show, dude, he friggin' ripped it.
He
It
did.
I'm
was
out of
crazy.
touch this much.
He's
I get breaking
he's
news.
gonna message you and be really upset.
Well, apparently, well, so the cool thing about here where we're recording it is that Dylan actually works here,
Yeah.
bartender here,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and Chris, his bandmate who drums, is also a bar. He's actually
Yeah.
here now.
Yeah.
Um,
Hi, Chris.
and so we were. Chris was telling me about a gig, and I'll finish with this. Some gig, some midget wrestling or
Yes,
or
yes,
dwarf
yeah.
wrestling. Did he tell you about
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. So they got invited out to play. I guess the promoter wanted a band to be there. And so they get there, they've got absolutely nothing. They don't even have this stage.
Oh man.
And so it was the ring, and they were trying to figure out where to put everything. He was like, all right, we need this. And they went out to get it, like go rent it. They had nothing. They had nothing. And then they showed back up with like half the stuff. They didn't have they didn't have enough inputs. And it was just a big disaster.
Damn.
And so like I was talking to Chris, I was like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. So I text him and I was like, hey man, I heard you like wrestling. And he's like, I'm sorry, who's this? I was like, oh, it's Ryan from the podcast. Chris told me about your wrestling experience. He's like, dude, just please don't. Let's not go there. So
Speaking of rings, the Heartless music video we shot in a boxing ring.
Yeah, it
and
was
like
a
a
semi-pro
MMA gym
boxing ring.
in-
It was
in
covered in
Round
blood
Rock.
and shit. It was fucking nuts.
okay, she's really bored. Somebody must be bleeding or dead.
Yeah. Speaking of blood, good segue. All right.
Yeah, you can find us at FWFTX on
Yeah, on
everything.
everything. Yeah, please go follow us on all socials.
Yeah.
That would be
And
awesome.
when they play a show, go see it and buy the tickets directly from them.
Yeah, dude.
July 27th. We're
Thursday.
playing at Come and Take It.
Thursday.
Yeah, come hang out. Come tell
We'll
us.
we'll
that-
have this out by then.
Hell yeah.
Looks at watch.
Hopefully.
You know.
Come tell us that you that you watched the episode. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And
Yeah,
we'll
this
give- we'll
is
give
the
you
first
a
one of the
free
year.
sticker.
I'm so excited. So excited. So thank you guys for coming.
for sure.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for having us, man. This has been
Let's
awesome.
let's go have a tasty beverage.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already
I
ready to
don't
have
drink. Yeah.
He's already he started early. He's like,
He
yep.
started.
this is-
He started as soon as 12
As soon as we got here.
It was 12:33.
He's like, it's PM.
Yeah,
he
ain't
literally
AM
said
no
it's
more,
PM.
party
bro.
mode. Party mode.
Oh,
All right, guys.
Jesus.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
I honestly look forward to like rewatching. This.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
Same.
That's one of the cool things I like is just reliving.
Oh yeah,
this.
same.
You know what I mean? You just listen. You're like,
Our
That's-
podcast.
that's staying in.
yeah.
you
I
know?
I produce I do all the scene
Right.
switching for
Scene
the
switching.
podcast, and so I'm kind of out of it for the recording. And then
Oh yeah, you're on
and
the
then
other
whenever I
side.
go and edit it, I get the full story, and I
Yep.
was like, "Damn, this is scarier than I thought."
So good. So good. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I love you.
I love
I
you.
love you too.
You're very cute.
From me to you. Press stop.